Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm Gamesplaining Era, Medieval Age. So I have set the game up as a two-player game, which has just reduced the number of elements that are available to us. The player on the left will be first player to start with. It doesn't matter too much until a couple of the eras, so just bear with that. So let's see what happens. Normally this would be rolled all behind a screen. Okay, that's their first roll. So this player must keep those two. He then has the choice about what to do with these two. And he thinks he might actually roll them again. He will definitely keep that. And look, he might go for one more roll with that one, which he's rolled that, and we'll see what happens. Okay, this player must keep that one. He doesn't know what this one's played or rolled, so he might actually hang on to that sword for the moment and reroll these two, and he might keep that and see how it works out. We now move down to getting the stuff in. So this player gets one on the blue, these two is 2 wood, and with that he chooses between taking 1 stone or 2 food. He thinks he might take the 1 stone. This player, nothing happens with the sword for the moment. He gets 1 wood there and 3 wood there, so 4 more wood and 3 more food. 1, 2, 3. Then make sure you take the 1 extra food for the farm that you have. Okay, we now move down to actually feeding the guys. So he needs to lose 4 food, which he has, and that puts him down to 0. This one is 4 food as well, which puts him down to 3. We then move down to this spot, which is where they get attacked. This one has 2, so he's taking a hit for each area that's touching each other, which he doesn't have any, so he doesn't take any hits. This guy has 1, which means that he either loses a skull or loses one of these items, and he thinks he might lose an item, and he'll lose wood for the moment. Then we go to building. So this player has 2 buildings that he can do, and this player only has 1. Let's deal with this one first. He's currently on 2 stone, 1 trade good, and 4 wood. So he could build a monastery with all of that. He won't then be able to build anything else. He could build a church, which will leave him with some wood and a stone. Actually, no, he will build his monastery, which is that one. Notice he's building that, not touching anything, with space for that wall to go all the way around him. So that cost him 4 wood, 2 stone, and 1 trade good. So everything's down to 0 on his lot at the moment. Over here, there's only 1 build available to him. I've just noticed that he's had that keep in there for the entirety of that first period. That shouldn't have been in there. It should be a blank to start with. I do apologize about that. And he might start with putting in a lumber mill. So by putting in the lumber mill, that will get him an extra 2 wood every time. That costs him 3 wood to build that. So 1, 2. And let's move on. So that then moves down to the fight between the two. This guy has 1 sword, that guy has no swords, but this guy doesn't have any trade goods to give to that guy. Because there's no resources here to hand over, he actually moves his disaster peak forward 2 spots. That then trades first player, and we roll again. So he must keep that. He doesn't think he'll keep any of the rest, so he'll roll them all again. He must keep that as well. He's not liking any of these, so roll the 3rd time, and we'll see how that all plays out. Okay, this player will roll that. Now, he can place something onto whichever face he wishes before he rolls the second thing. He thinks it's probably worthwhile going on that face. Can roll all of them again. He definitely needs that food. Definitely needs that wood, and he's getting wood again. Okay, so we then move down to the actual taking stuff phase. So this player gets 3, 4, 5 wood and 2 of those goods, plus 2 more wood for the lumber mill, plus 1 more food. This player gets 2 goods at the top, 3 food, 1, 2, 3, and 6 wood, plus 1 food for that. We then move down to feeding. So each of them feeds 4, which brings that down to 0, brings that down to 0. If you don't have enough food, by the way, it just costs you those skull markers. Then we move into the skull markers. This player, being first player, has 3 skulls, which causes this player to take a burnt ground. This player has 1 skull, which causes him to lose a resource, and he thinks he's going to lose a wood. We go to the building phase. So this player can build twice. What he's going to build is one of these, which is a hospital, costs him 6 wood and 1 good. What the hospital does is it allows whatever it's touching to be next to other things. So by putting it there, if he builds one of these here in future, that's not considered a cluster of buildings because it's next to a hospital. So that's 1 building he's done. And what he might do next is spend 1 of each of these. So 1, 1, and 1 to get a clergy, which he'll put there. That clergy allows him to get 1 extra die. This player doesn't have any things that he can build, so he just sticks with what he's got. We then move down to the fighting between them. They both got the same thing, which is no swords, so it doesn't matter. We then come back up to the top. This player really does need to keep at least the 3 food. He'll keep the stone as well. He would like that to be on that side, so he'll push that across to that side, which allows him to reroll that twice. And then we come over to this player. Now, there's something a bit special on that clergy die, which I'll show you in a second, assuming it comes up. He must keep that. He really does need some food, so he'll hang on to that. He might reroll all of them. That allows him to push forward on this, which will give him 1 point at the end of the game. He needs some wood, but he preferred to reroll all of them. Okay, that will give him 2 points down there. That protects him. Okay, that's good enough. So we now go to this stage. So we get 3 food, plus that one gives another 1, 2 stone. Those ones are for later on. This player gets 1 wood, plus that building, which is another 2 wood. 3 food, 1, 2, 3, plus that building. 3 more wood, 1, 2, 3. That pushes him down 2 on that track, and that's for later. We then go to actual feeding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This guy only has 4, which means he takes a loss of 1 on there. That loses a point at the end of the game. And this guy needs 4 and has 4, so he'll lose 0. This has come up, so this player doesn't have anything to fight. This one has just the 2 to fight with. Because he doesn't have anything in his area that's actually filling it up, nothing happens, so that one's fine. Okay, so this player has 2 things that he can build. Okay, and he might build with 2 stone. He's going to build a townhouse, which is one of these. Actually, he'll go there. These aren't counted as next to each other, of course they're on the diagonal. He might spend 1 wood to build a second farm. And this player has 1 build action that he can do. He's got a heap of wood, but that's pretty much all that he has. So what he might do is also build a farm. So there's 1 for a farm. The reason these guys are building farms is that it gives them an extra food every round. Okay, and we then come down to the fight between the 2. They've both, one's got shields, one's got swords, so nothing will happen on that fight either. look, I think you've got a fair enough idea of how this game runs and how it flows. If you have any comments or suggestions, please write them below. If you have any games that you would like to be Gamesplaned, please shoot me an email to thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter @thegamesplainer to keep up to date with the games I'm playing. Subscribe to my videos to keep up to date with the games that I'm gamesplaining. And until next time, enjoy gaming.